Grace and peace to you, and welcome to my YouTube page, Community and God Talk with Cornelius Bowser, yours truly. So, today I want to talk about relationships, and I want to specifically look at relationships between black men and black women. And the reason why I chose to speak about this because black women are less likely to get married than any other race of women. And so I began to ask myself, why is that, right? Now, I'm 63 and I'm married. I've been married 39 years. July 5th, we just completed 39 years of marriage, me and my wife. But I have a lot of friends that are my age, even younger in their 50s. And I work with a lot of youngsters that in their teens, in their 20s and 30s and 40s, and so on. And I have a lot of conversations with them about relationships, right? And why they don't want to settle down or why they date outside of their race and so on. And I got friends that's my age, right, that is still single and have never been married. And of course, some of them will tell me they ain't gonna never get married. So maybe that's the thing. It's not anything to do with women. It's just them. They don't want to get married. But there's others that's willing to do it if they run across the right woman, right? And it's not that they're being very picky or choosy or what have you. But my sisters out there, you there is a cesspool out there of different kinds of men that you have to watch out for. And then there's also a paradise of a lot of black men that you can marry and have a long lasting marriage relationship with. But when I was talking with some of my friends and also my sons, I raised five boys, and so I was talking to my sons about this because some of them are married, and some of them are single, and so on. Some of them are divorced, and so on. And one of the things that I was asking them is, especially like, a few of my sons, almost all of them, date outside of their race. And I asked them, like, why is it that you're not interested in black women? And so these are some of the things that they told me, right? They were like, number one, their expectations are too high, right? That women, and it's okay for anybody to dream, right? But sometimes we got to wake up and come to reality that, hey, look, what I'm expecting of a man or one of a man may not be what's out there for me, or those that I do want, that meet those expectations may not want me, right? So you got to kind of try to meet halfway. But they said expectations are too high, whether they want somebody to make a lot of money, got to look a certain way, act a certain way, do certain things, and so on and so forth, and they don't have time for the drama. The other thing that they was shared with me was that they were saying that, like, a lot of these women are crazy. Black women are crazy. They're wild and loose and disrespectful. Call you out of your name and all kind of stuff, right? I remember one brother. He's my age, right? And this was like about 10 years ago, maybe no, this was about 15 years ago. He was engaged and was going to get married and all excited about it. And then all of a sudden he told me he broke it off. And I said, why did you break it off, my brother? And he said, because she started calling him out his name, started calling him punks and different things like that. And he said, I ain't going for that. And so he called it off, right? And so a lot of times they say that they're kind of crazy, right? And then the other thing is, especially for men who, are out there and they don't have a high body count. They're looking for a woman that doesn't have a high body count, right? And so our young sisters start at a young age having sex and having babies and abortions and different things like that. So what they tell me is that a lot of these women today have a high body count, right? They have two and three kids by different men and things like that. Some of them, may have been married and divorced, and they just don't want to have to deal with all of that, right? And so it's the high body count. And then one of the other ones that a lot of them talk to me about is these women black women are too modernized, right? And for an example, brother asked her sister to, hey, why the house ain't clean? And she said, I ain't your mama. Clean your own house up, right? And so, and this is one of the reasons why black people are in bad health, right? Because we don't take the time to take care of ourselves, to exercise, and a proper diet. And I had posted a video about black men and having diets, and a sister came in and said it was black women too, because from the perspective that they don't want to cook anymore. You know, they want fast food or something easy, and that's not healthy, right? And so women are modernized today to the point to where that they don't want to do anything, right? They just want to be a trophy wife. And men want cooperation. Men want submission, submissiveness. Men want women to be women, right? And take on the responsibility, especially when you get a man. He don't have to be high value. High value means they most definitely gonna demand it. But a man that just works and make, get out there and make a living. And when he come home, you want a clean house. You want dinner ready, and or dinner is cooking, and the kids are taken care of, and all those things, right? He wants her to take care of the home and the children while he's out working and so forth. And don't have to be a high value man, just be a any man. I'm back in when I was younger, I didn't make a whole lot of money, right? But I was a hardworking man, and my wife was able to stay home, and I was able to get out there and work, right? And so those are some of the things that they tell us now. Now, when I was saying there's a cesspool out there of women, of men, I really kind of exaggerated with that. And basically, what I was talking about is that you got a lot of Pookies and Ray Rays out there. These are guys that's been to prison. These are guys that are not responsible. These are the guys that will have sex with you just to have sex and want two and three different women and all those different other kind of things. Now, these are the guys, the Pookies and the Ray Rays. They'll come up and talk to you. They'll hit on you. They'll ask for your number and all those good old things, right? A lot of the other men, they will get at you too, but they have to know that it's safe for them to try to talk to you, talk to the black woman and get at her, right? And so you got a lot of Pookies and Ray Rays out there that you got to that a lot of these women end up getting caught up in because they got game and they're smooth and they know how to talk to you, know how to play that role and make you think that they everything that you want until they get between those legs. So you got to watch out for that, because that's kind of what messes up a lot of black women right later on when they're really looking for someone, and the men say that high body count, right? And so you got men out there that are nerds, and they're not afraid to talk to women, excuse me, and things like that. But a lot of times they look down upon, right? Because they are nerds and they're not cool or in fashion or meet the expectations of what they think a man should be, right? And now, I hear there's these younger women, like in their 20s and 30s, looking for older men, right? Because they want to deal with the men in their age range. And then, of course, you have the high value men. I want to get back to the age range thing. Of course, you have the high value men. That's not my lane. And I know Kevin Samuels, when he was alive, he used to talk about that a lot. But one of the things two things I do want to touch on is Christian men. And I also want to touch on marrying someone your age, right? When I got married, I met my wife when I was 23 years old, and my wife was 20. We both were in church. And we got married on my birthday, July the 5th. So I had just turned 24. She turned 21 in June. So I was 21. She was 24, right? I was broke and she was broke, right? But we build and we grew together, right? And a lot of times people don't want to build and grow together, right? Yes, now that I'm older, something happened to my wife, I am not going to waste a lot of time trying to train a woman to be what I had. She already got to be ready to jump in there. But when you're young, you can grow, together, and and the man and the woman, the woman can tell her what her expectations is. Man can tell the husband what her expectation is, and you can grow together on that, right? And the last thing I would say is that strong faith and religious beliefs, right? Research shown and highlights that significant faith and religion plays a significant role in marriages that last a long time because it provides a strong foundation. They have shared values and shared practices, right? And so that it leads to commitment to family and community and resilience and shared experience when you have that strong religious background, spiritual background, go to church together, pray together, and stick together and grow together. And that's what me and my wife had, and that's what gave us success in our marriage. All right, God bless you.